Hey Joe fans, I'm John Setzler. Welcome back to the Kamado Joe Cooking Channel for this month's installment of Joe Talk. It's October 2015, fall's starting to come around, the temperatures are starting to cool off a little bit, so I'm really looking forward to keeping my Joes fired up during the cool and cold weather, and I hope you are too. Got quite a few things I want to talk about in this month's installment of Joe Talk. First of all, our introduction of the sous vide technique that we talked about last month in Joe Talk, and we did our sous vide reverse seared ribeyes in a video this month. Those met with a lot of good responses. There's a lot of talk, about sous vide. A lot of people aren't very keen on the idea overall because it is different. It is different than grilling and smoking. It's a different process, but I hope you get the chance to try it. And we're not done with it yet. Like I said, we're going to do a brisket. We're going to do either a whole brisket or a big brisket flat sometime probably this month, sometime in October, and it's going to be a really interesting result, so we'll see that coming up in a video. We've had a lot of really good pictures and stuff posted to the Kamado Joe Facebook page during the month of September, and I wanted to highlight a couple of those for you. Andy Scalzo, who's one of our regulars on Facebook, posted this picture of chicken and dumplings being cooked on his Kamado Joe. I believe he's cooking this one on his Classic. This just goes to show once again that anything you can cook in the oven, you can also cook it on the Kamado Joe, and I bet these turned out fantastic. I love chicken and dumplings, and I can't really imagine. I'm going to have to get this recipe from Andy and try it myself. I think that might make a good video, and maybe he'll share that recipe with us. I'll talk to him about it, and we'll see what we come up with. Andy also posted this picture recently of a dessert that he calls Peach Crisp. Cooked in a cast iron pan on his Kamado Joe, and this looks really good also. I love desserts that come off the grills, and I bet this one is fantastic. Our next picture comes from Charity Price, and this is her smoked mac and cheese. And for those of you who know me, you know I love smoked macaroni and cheese. There's tons of ways to do this on the grill, and the smoke and the grill bring a flavor to macaroni and cheese like you just can't imagine. If you haven't tried this, you've got to try it. There's lots of recipes out there. There's a video here on our YouTube channel of my recipe, but you can take any macaroni and cheese recipe that you might have, and all you got to do differently is cook it on the grill instead of in the oven, and throw a little bit of smoke wood on there with it, and you will see the difference. I'm telling you guys, got to give it a shot. Doug Keller is another regular on our Facebook page, and he's posted a couple of pictures this month that have caught my eye. The first one here is the picture of his trifecta. Doug now has all three sizes of the Kamado Joe. He's got the Junior there, and then the red Classic and Big Joe. So Doug, welcome to the trifecta club. And this picture that Doug posted more recently of this dessert called Krispy Kreme Apple Cinnamon Bread Pudding just made my mouth water. If any of you have ever had bread pudding, you know that it's a delicious dessert. And Doug didn't post his recipe with this, but I am betting that since it's called Krispy Kreme Apple Cinnamon Bread Pudding, that this was made with Krispy Kreme donuts, which is just going to push this over the top. Maybe we can get Doug to share that recipe with us as well, and that might make a good video cook down the road for us. Johan Tornberg, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. I believe he's from Sweden. Has posted this photograph. He calls margarita glazed baby backs. He's made some sort of glaze for these baby back ribs with that Patron tequila, so you know that's going to be good. It looks delicious, and his cook there looks really awesome as well. John Appleseed, who's another regular, he probably posts more to our Facebook page than anybody. He's got a nice picture here of a griddle breakfast with bacon, eggs, and hash browns cooking on two of the Kamado Joe Half Moon cast iron griddles on there. And I haven't done a video of that yet, but I've done this cook. I've cooked breakfast out here on the grill. We're going to get to that soon also, but that looks fantastic. The griddles work perfectly for that. He also posted another picture here of some stuffed bell peppers, and we have done stuffed bell peppers on the grill, and it really tastes awesome with a little bit of smoke. So keep that in mind. This is a good idea, something for you to try. Josh Nason posted this picture of baked ziti. Italian dishes like this work really well. It goes along the same lines of the macaroni and cheese. I've done lasagna this way, and we made a video on that. I haven't done ziti, but when you've got tomatoes, cheese, ground beef, dishes like that, and when you put a little bit of smoke to it, it really takes it up to the next level. Try your next Italian dish like this on the grill. It's real easy to do. Laura Habgood posted this picture of 2 beer can chickens going on her Kamado Joe. Beer can chickens on the Joe are hard to beat. They have a beautiful flavor and aroma, and that moisture, I believe, really does make a difference in cooking those things on the inside, keeping them nice and tender. And our final picture this month comes from Mike McCann, and it's just a beautiful picture of a beautiful pizza on his Kamado Joe. The Kamado Joes do pizzas so well. It's one of the definite strong points of these grilling systems. So if you haven't tried doing pizza on there, what are you waiting on? Get on it. So those are the pictures that we're going to share for this month. As I said, October's here and the weather's starting to cool off. Outside here at my place tonight, it's a little below 60 degrees, which is a temperature that I start looking for, because that tells me that the temperature's cool enough I can start doing one of my favorite projects. It's not a typical grilling or smoking project, it's cold smoking. And I love to cold smoke cheese, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that in this video. I'm going to show you the tools I use to cold smoke cheese, and we're going to fire up a cold smoke setup, and do a little bit of cold smoking on the Kamado Joe Classic. So the first thing I want to do is show you the product I'm using to generate the cold smoke. We have to keep the grill cool when we're smoking cheese. I like to not let the temperature in the grill get up above 75 degrees or so. So in order to do that, there's some specific things you might need. There are alternate ways to do this. I'm just going to show you the products that I have, and let's have a look at those right quick. This is a cold smoke generator from a company called Amazing Products, and it's a maze, and that's kind of their thing. This is a 5 by 8 inch maze that's designed to use wood pellets to generate cold smoke. I also have one of their tube smokers. This is a 12-inch long stainless steel tube that's open on one end, and you fill this guy up with wood pellets as well, and you light it up on the end and let it generate smoke. But I don't use the tube quite as much as I use this maze, because this maze is just, it lets me get the perfect temperature. And what I do is I fill this maze up with wood pellets. This is the same variety of pellets that you would use in a pellet grill or smoker, like the Traeger or any other pellet cooker that you might have. And you just fill this guy up with these pellets and get it flush at the top. And then I've got my little butane torch that you've seen me use before. This is a little $8 butane torch that comes from Harbor Freight that we're going to use to light this up. So I'm going to take this outside and we'll light it up and show you how that works. Okay, this maze has a little hole in the end of it here, so I'm going to fire up the butane torch, and I'm going to light it up, and I'm going to hold it there for about a minute and let these pellets catch on fire. And after those ignite, we're going to let that sit for a minute or so and let that continue to burn. And after it's been burning for a minute or so, I'm going to give it a little puff and blow it out. And we're just going to let that smoke, and I'll show you how we're going to put it in the grill. Okay, you want to have your grill completely cleaned out for this. You don't want to have any charcoal in there. So we're going to set this cold smoker right in the bottom of the grill. And then I'm going to set my divide and conquer flexible cooking system in the grill with the heat deflector down in the lowest position. And I've also got my extended, my expander rack on here up on the top. So we're going to I'm going to put the cheese that we've got right up here as soon as this gets rolling. I'm also going to put a temperature probe in here so I can keep up with how warm it is inside the grill. Like I said, I want to show you that it's not very difficult to keep this in the proper temperature range. So we'll look at that as well. Like I said, I want to keep it below 75 degrees if possible. And so we're going to monitor the ambient temperature as well as the temperature inside the grill. Now that we've got our cold smoke flowing, I'm going to open the grill up and we're going to set some cheese. I've got 3 blocks of cheese. I've got an 8-ounce block of Colby Jack, an 8-ounce block of sharp cheddar, and an 8-ounce block of regular Monterey Jack cheese. So we're going to leave that in there for a couple hours under this cold smoke, and I'm going to check it every hour or so to make sure that we're still getting smoke. Sometimes these pellet smokers can go out and we may have to relight it, but we're going to come back in an hour or so and look at the ambient temperature and the grill temperature inside the grill to see where we are there. We've been going for right at an hour, and as you can see, the temperature inside my grill here is 66.1 degrees, while the outside temperature is 58.9, which is pretty good. We're doing good. It may come up a little more. I've seen it come up a little higher than this. I usually get around 10 to 12 degrees at this temperature. Ultimately, I'd like for it to be cooler outside, but this is still going to work. So let's have a look inside the grill. As you can see, we've got a nice thin, light smoke coming out of the top of the grill from that cold smoker. So we'll raise this up and have a look at our cheese on the inside, and it's still hanging in there. This cheese will discolor. It'll turn a light brownish on the outside after it's been in here for a couple hours. So we're going to let this go. I'm going to let this go probably for about 4 hours or so, and then when I'm done with it, I'm going to vacuum seal it and put it in the refrigerator. And I like to let mine stay vacuum sealed in the fridge for at least a month before I taste it. If you slice this off right after you finished with it on the grill and taste it, it does not taste good at all. It tastes something that might remind you of a cigarette ashtray or something. It's got a horrible flavor to it until that cheese has time to absorb that and let that smoke settle in. So what I'm going to do now, while this finishes up, I'm going to take you back inside and we're going to cut open some that I've done previously. Okay guys, I've got a package here of vacuum sealed sharp cheddar that I smoked, and believe it or not, I smoked this block on November 11th 2013. So this block is almost 2 years old. So we're going to cut it open and have a taste of that. This stuff keeps very well when it's vacuum sealed. So let's take that out. It smells good. I'm going to cut a little piece off the very end here, and we're going to have a taste of that. This ought to be really delicious. Man, that cheddar is good. It has a beautiful smoky flavor to it. Really nice, especially when you get an end piece where you've got smoke on that long side. It's really good. Really delicious flavor. Good. You can cook with this. You can eat it plain. I like to snack on it. I like to use cheese as one of my low carbohydrate snacks. So give this a try. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the video comments here. Let me know what you're thinking. As far as creating your cold smoke is concerned, if you'll do a Google search on cold smoke generators, you'll find a lot of options along with these amazing products, cold smokers. These work really well, and in the YouTube video description and on my Facebook post about this, I will give you a link to where you can pick those up if you're interested in having a look at the amazing product stuff. Otherwise, just do a Google search and find a way to generate some cold smoke. You can do this a lot of different ways. So until next time, this is John Setzler with the Kamado Joe Cooking Channel.